Your goal for today is to learn how to measure and classify angles. First, you need to know a lot of vocabulary about angles. The first word is a ray. A ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint and extends indefinitely in one direction. For example, this point A extends indefinitely towards point B and goes beyond that, and it would be called ray AB. Make sure your arrow goes in the direction forward. You have to start with the end point when you're naming it. So you cannot call this ray BA. That would be incorrect. The next vocab word are opposite rays. Opposite rays are exactly two rays that share a common endpoint and are collinear. So for example, ray CD and ray CE are called opposite rays because they both share point C and they make a straight line. They are collinear. They share a line. Next is an angle. An angle is the intersection of two non-collinear rays. So notice on this example, the rays GH and GF do not make a straight line. So this is called an angle. These rays GH and GF are called the sides of the angle. And the point that the rays share, this point here, point G, is called the vertex. You can name this angle using 3 letters. So the vertex has to be the second letter. So this could be named angle HGF, or it could be named angle FGH. In addition, since this angle is the only angle around and it does not share another angle, no other angle has the vertex G in this figure, we could also call this just angle G. Okay, let's try an example together. So this is all about angles and their parts. Use this map of the high school shown. Name all angles that have point B as their vertex. So first, find point B, locate that. Okay, any angle that has B as its vertex. So let's find any rays that go from point B. Let me make this a little thicker so it shows up on the picture. So this ray, ray BD, and this ray, ray BA, come together to form angle 1. If there is a number inside the angle, you can also use that to name the angle. So one of our answers here is angle 1. Let's check if there are any others. So again, using the ray BD, we could also use the ray BC, which could also be called ray BK or ray BL. This forms angle 2. So another angle with B at its vertex is angle 2. There are no other rays starting at point B, so those are the only angles that have B as a vertex. Next says name the sides of angle 3. So here's angle 3, and let's figure out which rays create angle 3. That would be these rays here. So we can call these ray CA. Ray CA could also be called ray CB. And the other ray is ray CE. Next, what is another name for angle GHL? So when they give you a name of an angle, you'll just follow those letters in order. So we go from point G to point H to point L. So those letters in order created this angle here, which is in the figure also named angle 7. This symbol is not the less than symbol. This symbol is the angle symbol. So just be a little careful. make sure you're trying to write the angle symbol. You could also write this out as angle 7. Pause the video and try the practice problems below. Here are the answers. I'd like you to answer problem C for yourself. That's your question for today. Next, let's talk about how to measure angles. So angles and arcs are measured in units called degrees using a protractor, which is this tool shown here. We are going to practice using a protractor, but for now, let me just tell you how it's used. So when we have an angle, such as this angle, angle FED, what we need to do is first place the center point of the protractor on the vertex of the angle. So there is sometimes a hole in the protractor that can really help you line it up perfectly with that vertex point, but you always want to line it up right there. Okay, next, once you have the vertex in that center point, you want to make sure this 0 marking is on one of the sides of the angle. So remember, the sides are the rays. So you'll want to make sure that 0 is lined up with one of the sides. Next, you'll look at the other side of the angle, and you'll see which number it lines up with. Notice that the protractor has 2 scales. It goes 0 to 180, and it also goes 180 to 0. So you have to know whether this angle is 50 degrees or 130 degrees. Obviously, this is a smaller angle, which we will learn the classification of in a minute. So this one is not 130 degrees. This one is 50 degrees. Now, I'm sure you've already heard these terms, right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle. Let me tell you the official measurements of these angles. A right angle, such as angle A, has to equal exactly 90 degrees. So we would write the measure, whoops, let me make this skinny again. The measure of angle A equals 90 degrees. And you don't have to put the degree symbol when you're writing the angle measure like this. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. However, it has to be greater than 0 degrees. So the measure of angle E, shown here, has to be greater than 0, but less than 90. Finally, an obtuse angle, such as angle B shown here, must be greater than a right angle. So it has to be greater than 90 degrees. However, it also has to be less than 180 degrees. It cannot be a straight line. A straight line is not an angle. Because remember, the definition of an angle says that the 2 sides cannot be collinear. For this example, I don't have a way to show you a protractor on here. We're just going to do the classifications, right, acute, and obtuse. So we'll find these angles MJP. MJP is this angle here. This one we can measure because it has the right angle symbol. This red box here shows that it's a right angle. So we can say the measure of angle MJP is equal to 90, and it's a right angle. Next, we have angle LJP. That's this angle here, LJP. This is greater than 90 degrees, so it's called an obtuse angle. We can predict this measure, but that's your question, so I don't want to tell you how to do that. Finally, we have the measure of angle NJP. That's this angle here. It is less than a 90-degree angle, therefore it's called an acute angle, is its classification. Alright, answer this question, reflect on this. How could you predict what the answer will be before measuring an angle with a protractor? Thank you.